Welcome to Embrace Life with Renai. Tonight we are dedicating this entire show to organ transplantation and donation. As we know, the gift of an organ can mean a second chance at life for many people. One area hospital is doing their best to help bring awareness to organ donation, Lourdes Medical Center. My guest is from Lourdes, Dr. Arijit Chakravarti, and he's here to shed more light on this very important topic. Hello, Ari, how are you?
Thank you so much for having me here. It's great to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure. Tell us what your role is at Lourdes.
I am a transplant nephrologist, which is a medical kidney and pancreas transplant doctor. I'm one of the transplant nephrologists at Our Lady of Lourdes, and I'm also the medical director of the kidney and pancreas transplant program at Our Lady of Lourdes.
Now, why did you choose Lourdes? I'm sure you could have gone anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. What was it about Lourdes that made you decide to work there?
If anything, as many doctors choose after they complete their training, choosing something that's good for family and allows for a balance between family and work is very, very important. But of course, one of the most important things is you want to be able to practice what you've been trained to do.
Right.
And that is exactly the opportunity that I got here at Lourdes.
There are not that many hospitals actually in the area that do what you do.
That's exactly right. And so often, sometimes doctors may have to practice part of what they've been trained to do. But, and this is an important thing in kidney disease as well as for diabetes, just like in the past, there weren't many dialysis units available, even right here in New Jersey. Patients would have to travel far to get to their doctors to be able to get the vital care that they need. Same thing is the case now with transplant. And transplant, unfortunately, is not available everywhere, but it's becoming more and more available. And so Lourdes allows that for me to be able to practice that.
That's great. Now tell me a little bit about kidney disease and how does one know that they have kidney disease? How do they detect it?
Yeah, this is an important question. It's a very common question. Probably the most important thing to realize is that just like with any disease, whether it's heart disease or breast cancer, often it requires putting together results of basic screening tests, sometimes blood tests, pictures, but you also have to put that information together with the person and some of the symptoms that they're having. And probably the most important thing with kidney disease is that an important thing to keep in mind is that people can still die from kidney disease. It still is a deadly disease, but there isn't still a lot of knowledge out there. People have heard a lot about heart disease, have heard a lot about cancer, but kidney disease is not still well known, and you have to kind of fight to learn more about kidney disease. And so, but an important thing to keep in mind is that although kidney disease can be very deadly, along with diabetes, people are living much, much longer. And so probably the main thing also is to remember that kidney disease as well as diabetes can be silent, and that's an important thing to keep in mind.
Now you talked a little bit about symptoms, and we actually have some information that we want to show the audience. Can you take us through this step by step? First of all, changes in urination. What do you mean by that?
So a change in urination can actually vary a lot. Probably with kidney disease, an important thing to keep in mind is that as kidney function decreases, it gets harder for kidneys to actually be able to concentrate urine and to filter urine, filter blood. And so a common misconception is that some patients will think, or even doctors may think that if someone is developing kidney disease that they may make less urine. But quite the opposite. If someone is developing kidney disease, especially in the early stages and even sometimes in the later stages, they may actually be making more urine, especially at nighttime. For example, a change in symptoms may be that rather than just having to urinate during the day, some patients may find that they're having to urinate more frequently at night.
So they're going more often?
Yes.
Okay. And then also we have swelling, fatigue, skin rash, and itching. Can you explain those a little bit?
Sure. And so swelling, if anything, what we also call it's edema. And there are a number of different conditions that can also cause swelling or edema. Liver disease could also cause this, heart disease can cause this. But when we talk about swelling and kidney disease, we generally mean swelling in the extremities, and you're retaining salt and water.
Okay, and fatigue. So you're tired during the day?
Yes, and so fatigue, many times patients may still continue to try to work or do a lot of the different activities that they have to do as either running their household or taking care of family or working, but they may find that they're getting easily fatigued and they're not able to, and they're having to take frequent rests. And this can be a manifestation of kidney disease.
You know, it's interesting because as I'm listening to you talk about all the different symptoms and I'm seeing them on the screen, I'm thinking, and we'll go through them step by step a little bit more as the show continues, I'm thinking this could be a symptom of a lot of conditions.
Absolutely.
So how do you distinguish that it's kidney disease?
Absolutely, and that kind of brings me back to that first point that I was trying to make. The symptoms are very, very important. You have to put the problem, of course, is, and sometimes kidney disease can progress very quickly, and then patients may need emergency care. It usually would be if the kidneys are not able to filter the toxins that they normally would filter, and then sometimes in those situations, emergency treatment is needed. But otherwise, many times the symptoms can be non-specific.
Non-specific.
And that is probably the most important thing to keep in mind. So each of those conditions, if you look at fatigue, malaise, nausea, frequent urination, these could be symptoms related with other diseases. So that's where then you need to put that information together with seeing a doctor. And the doctor then puts together other blood tests, urine test pictures of kidneys.
And we're going to talk more about the symptoms when we return, more with Dr. Chakravarty when Embrace Life with Renai returns in just a moment.